Create with Franz, Sidney. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. And this today is episode 31. Oh, we're doing so well. I'm so excited to be with you and to talk about your future. Have you thought about your future? What would you like to do? And why am I asking you this question? Well, the reality is that because of the pandemic and a lot of people being on furlough and changing or losing their job, there is a lot of commotion, mentally speaking, emotionally speaking. A lot of us are actually wondering, well, was that actually a good thing to lose my job? Is this my chance to change my career path or to get into the work world now? So a lot of people have been asking about life purpose. And if you go to those websites that tell you which searches people are putting on Google, you will see that life purpose is one of those all-important things. So today we're not going to talk about the spiritual part of it, but really the skill and talent part of our life purpose. Because of course, we all know that if there is a life purpose, for us, if there is something special we have, why should we not use it to be happy and to help other people with this amazing talent or skill or ability that we have? First thing that I think we should do when we want to identify in which direction we should go is certainly going to be to identify what we are good at doing. What is there something special that we can do very well and we never get a chance to do? And so there are lots of steps that we can take to identify exactly what could be this change of life, a change of career that could make us happier than we are now. The first thing to do is, of course, to work out what is it you actually love doing. So when you are not asked to do anything, what is it you go and do straight away? What is the people have to drag you away from doing because you just keep going back to that? And is this something that is making you really lose track of your time? Would you do it even for free because you enjoy it so much? But that could be really something you could use later as a change of career or as a way of feeling more balanced and more happy in your life. What is that you are passionate about? And you can very often see that since you are a child, and you can see that certain children like certain things and other children don't. And sometimes this keeps going on for the rest of your life. There are lots of things that you can think of. For example, what kind of books you read, what kind of websites you spend time with, and do you share anything about this with other people? Is that something you're passionate about? What is the topic that you like reading about? Or, for example, certain movies that you particularly enjoy watching, and what is it about them that really is catching your eye? What topic makes you really feel the passion and the flame? So that's a very important part of identifying what your interests are. Going back to the past, maybe there are some occasions in the past when you remember that you had a talent. For example, you had particularly good success in a specific class or assignment. You rocked when you did a particular project. Or whatever happened, you said to yourself, well, that wasn't bad. I was actually quite good at that. And then you forgot about it. So you could go back and ask your parents if you're still alive, or your friends, or maybe look in your journal. What is it I did really well and that I could enjoy today? Because it could be quite a hint. Maybe it's something you could use today as an easy thing to do for you because it was so flowing, right? You could also start by deciding what is it you do not like to do. So which one is your weakness? What is that takes you a really long time to do? You self-sabotage, you procrastinate, you really don't want to do it, you feel very uncomfortable. So that is something that you can take off your list and you know for sure, no, I don't want to do that to change my career, right? You could maybe write a list of all these things that come from the past and from a recent past as well, and look at all what is emerging, what is your real interest, what is your real passion. It could be anything from the art, the craft, the sport, engineering, science. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a really glamorous thing that celebrities use, okay? It could be something really simple. And when you look at the pattern, so what you used to like in your life, what's that about? Talking or listening, doing, making things with your hand or organizing, What was it? What was your dream? Have you forgotten about your dream? And maybe you can identify more than one thing that you really liked when you were younger. And of course, if everything goes absolutely well, you will be able to identify something and then sit there and work out, what am I going to do about this? Do I want to discover this talent? For example, if you always loved playing with plasticine, well, maybe you could be very good at making little statues, sculpting and doing fimo and something like that. And you could be a very good jewelry maker, or maybe you would like to make dolls. Or maybe you would like to make plasticine because you're still working with your 3D talents. Who knows? You just have to practice something, learn a new skill, take a class, go to Skillshare, Udemy, Etsy, look at things that are around and really nourish yourself and give yourself a chance to think, would this be exciting and interesting for me? Of course, it's very important to guard the way you are thinking, because a lot of us will start putting a lot of boundaries and problems and negative thinking, saying, well, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and no, I'll never be able to do this and that. Now, of course, there are some things you won't be able to do. For example, if you're 80, it's a little bit difficult to start artistic gymnastics or acrobatic rock and roll. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a little bit difficult. So there are certain things that your body will not allow you to do. That's fine, but stop thinking very negative about all your stuff that you really like doing when you were younger, because sometimes it's only that is stopping you from achieving what you really want. It's your own thoughts. It's not other people. With this in mind, of course, keeping your mind open, it was giving you the chance to really have space. The space to do something new, something different that you used to like in the past and that you are quite good at. What could this be? Maybe you were good at giving talks, and maybe today you would love to give talks and presentations about something. Maybe you would love to write a book about it, or you would like to be a helper in an organization of youth when you perhaps mentor people giving talks. It could be so many things, but you really have to open up your mind and say, well, I'm going to organize my thoughts and give myself a chance to really think about what I love doing and try something new. One thing I've done just about a week ago was to look up an old journal. I'm very glad that out of my 10 or 12 journals, I kept one that has about 20 pages, and I was about 18. And I was reading what I was writing there, and I realized, wow, when I was 18, I liked exactly the same thing that I like today. Isn't that amazing? Just all is there, the artistic gymnastics, the music, going out with people, relaxing with music, making music, working in my radio. And it was all there, drawing, the languages, the sun, and the beach. Why I still like everything the same, although I had so many different experiences with different jobs, teaching, all sorts of stuff, but I still like exactly the same things. What did you like when you were about 18? And of course, it could be that you can't really remember anything. So you could look at your very recent journals, or even start writing in journal now, and look to see what is that you actually enjoy in life, that you enjoy doing, making, listening to, or observing. So it could be anything. For example, bird watching is so amazing, so calming, and you learn so much about the environment and about the nature around you, and it doesn't really cost you much. So I think we all need to give ourselves permission to try new things. But, we are in the UK, whoever is listening here, we are in lockdown, but in about a month we're going to have to open the schools apparently, and they're going to slowly lift the lockdown. This means that lots of us will be able to finally go outdoors and do things that we haven't been able to do for several months. So what a great opportunity we have to discover again what we like doing within the limits of what is going to be open and what not. And spring is going to be coming, it's going to be sunnier and drier, hopefully. Fingers crossed we're going to be able to go to parks, enjoy nature, and maybe find a new activity, a new hobby, something that gives us a little bit more zest for life after so many months stuck indoors. And that's a perfect opportunity now to really reconnect to ourselves with nature and with the universe, as we call it, to really think, what do I want to do next? I have so many years ahead of me. Do I want to continue as I was? Do I want something different? That's a perfect time to ask ourselves, what can I do? And if you cannot think of anything, what do your friends think about that? Have they noticed something, an interest or a passion, or you're very skilled and talented in something, and you keep saying, no, I'm not good at that, and they keep saying, no, you are very good, and you keep saying, nah. If you keep thinking that you are not good enough, and everyone else is telling you the contrary, then there is a time to go and see somebody like me and have one session of rapid transformational therapy, because they will really go down and back to all those episodes in your life in the very, very past when you started to build this belief that you're not good enough at something. And maybe, yes, in the beginning we're not good enough, but if all people around us keep saying, you are good at that, why do we keep saying we're not? So, it's a bit of a cognitive dissonance. And we should really say, oh, thank you, and then think, wow, if I'm good, maybe I could do something out of this. And so, why do we build this belief? This is the critical inner voice that we have. And we have to set it aside and say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to listen to you. And if this is becoming really difficult for us, if the inner voice keeps saying, no, you can't do it, and look at that, this is rubbish, then you really have to, get this session done and say, right, I deserve this. I really want this voice to stop. And it's like a habit that we have to have a negative mindset that everything is going to go wrong because I can never do that, and we keep our talent hidden. But if you think about it, when we are born, we all have very, very special talents and interests and passions that are right there. You can see straight away when a toddler is around, he will have specific interests. And of course, then we develop them and we grow them. But sometimes the environment does not allow the children to grow in the direction where they were going to absolutely shine. So it's not the same thing to be born, in a tribal group in a distant or rural area, or to be born maybe in New York, where you have a huge variety of classes, and unless you're maybe in the Bronx, you're going to get a chance to get a degree and follow your attitude, your passions. So we all have an environment to cope with, and also people around us, like parents, teachers, who are very well-meaning and they're trying to help us, but sometimes they are not helping us in the direction that, looking back, later on you will see, that was not the correct one, because they are trying to give us a job that is nice and stable, 9 to 5, maybe in an office, and well paid. And I know that a lot of you have got a job and they absolutely love the money that they get. And they get the accolades from society, this is a very professional job. But then when we get home, they say, I need something else. I want something more. This is not enough. And I just gave a session to somebody a couple of weeks ago. And this person was like that, was like, I have what I want, but I need more. And so we did a whole session on life purpose. And it was amazing, eye-opening to see that we sometimes have blocks, and these blocks can be removed. And when we remove them, we are like a horse that is running in the fields on a hill very happily and really having this power and this joy and grace of just being alive and being himself. So if there is one thing that happened in this lockdown, and some people, because they stopped working all the time, they had time to sit with themselves and to think. And that is so important, not to rush around the whole day, while other people were actually rushing more because they had to take care of the children and do the Zoom calls and take care of the school. It's very, very busy. So when can you think about spending some time with yourself? It would be very good to sit there and think, okay, Franz is correct. I always wanted to take up this particular hobby or maybe change job, and this may be the time, but I don't have time. Well, sometimes we just have to make the time and say to others, okay, guys, I know you want this from me, but today I really have to work on, what I really want to do. I'm just going to need an hour on my own. I'm going to sit in the car. It's too noisy in the house. I'm going to go and just think. I want to think. Maybe play some music and just give yourself this gift of thinking and pondering. And sometimes just maybe a coloring book or some doodling can help you to really go deep and just unwind and breathe very deeply and just I feel like, okay, it's me. What do I want? What do I want? That is so important. Now, all this doesn't mean that as soon as you pick up your old hobby or passion, that everything is going to be wonderful. There will be a lot of setbacks. Maybe you can't remember how to do it. Maybe you can't remember how to draw, how to paint, how to go around and ride a horse, or how to make shoes, whatever was the thing that you like doing. Maybe you try to give a talk or presentation and you feel absolutely rubbish and you're too rusty. And that's fine. But I think if you give it an honest effort and you really try and practice, you will get the results. You had them before, and you can get even better now because you have a maturity and the experience, and all the experiences that you have had in life can add to your new profession, new hobby, because you are a 3D person, maybe a 5D person. And so this hobby could become really, really good for you as a way to unwind, as a way to relax. Don't we all need that? Or it could be something even better. It could be a side hustle. It could be a little business on the side that you can do, for example, as a charitable thing, Or we could maybe say, right, actually, people are liking this, they want to buy it. It could be something I can make and change my job completely. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you want to use everything you have. You're not born here just to be grey, to have a grey life. You can do a lot if your health permits, and if you have enough money to start this new hobby. Sometimes it's a very, very easy thing to do. It's not very expensive. Of course, it's a very pricey thing. Well, for a lot of people, it's going to be difficult, but maybe you can do something similar. So always be creative and think that when you can do that, you can work and you can do something that you like doing, when you're really nourishing yourself. Now, what happens when you can do that? When you're nourishing yourself, you're giving the chance to grow and to feel balanced and to be in a good mood and to be able to help others because you are happy with yourself. You're also raising your confidence, because if you do something that you like, you have more grace, more happiness just to be in life. You just have to try. If you don't try, because you think, I'm not perfect, I don't have a talent, or I'm not special, then you're never gonna know what you're going to miss. And you don't want to become, a lazy person. And you don't want to become lazy either. You have to get a little bit of a kick there and say, well, I'm gonna try. Maybe I'm gonna be tired, but I'm really going to enjoy doing this new hobby, new activity, whatever that is. Maybe one small tip I can give is not to just jump from one hobby to the other very quickly without really having developed a knowledge of what skills are required, because sometimes if you leave it half done, you're not really sure and of what you are going to achieve with that, and it's going to give you this sensation of being unsettled. You don't need to jump all the time, and you don't need either to look at other people and copy from other people. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. And so that would be my suggestion. Just stick to one and try it. Give it some, good weeks and maybe a couple of months and see if it's giving you any happiness or calmness. And of course, beware of the people around you, because some people will be negative thinkers and will be around, and they will try to tell you that, they're trying to put you down, they're trying to tell you that it's not the time, you should think about the other people, and your job is to just take care of the house, and all you can do is wash the dishes, and you're not good enough, and, these people just need to be completely and absolutely ignored, because they cannot tell you what you can enjoy and what you cannot enjoy, and they might actually make you think you are not good enough. So what's the purpose of listening to them? Just do your duties, do your job, do your honest stuff as usual, and then think, well, I have a right to spend a little bit of time doing what I like, even if it's not earning money, even if it's not the most beautiful thing. It just makes me happy. One thing that I found out that for me was particularly important was sometimes we have this interest in something, but we really need a mentor. We need somebody to show us to. So here's my last tip before we end this episode, is to be humble. Sometimes we need a mentor, somebody who can do this thing that you like so much and he can do it really well. So watch their YouTube videos, read their books, ask them questions, invite them for dinner, whatever this person is doing. If he's dead, read a biography. Learn from people who are better and ask them questions. How did you do this? How did you do that? What skills can I develop and how? And then watch them doing it. And then learn from the best. Why should you not learn from the best? It's one of the big things that we can do. Because if you keep doing something wrong all the time, then you're not going to really enjoy your hobby very well. Learn what they're doing. So from people who are doing things correctly, and try to get from them everything that can get your hobby really going, or if it's not a hobby, even a profession and a skill. So just don't think about it has to be just one little thing, and your hidden talents will come out because you're going in the right direction, you have a right vibration, let's call them, and the good focus and direction, and that's just gonna make you happy. I hope that this episode has been of help for you and for all your friends that you're gonna share this episode with. Because I know that there are a lot of people who are sitting down there bored to death. And all they're doing, they are sitting, watching television. There is a lot more in life than sitting there and watching television. You can do a lot more. Even if it's as simple as doodling on a spare piece of paper, it is something that can give you joy, can give you happiness. And it helps the mind to think better because you're doing something that you enjoy. So even if it is card playing or a board game or then ping pong, whatever that is, you can involve somebody else, even better. And so think about it. It could be flower recognition, going outside and looking for foraging plants. You do not have to be limited to very old-fashioned, traditional or new or glamorous hobbies. There is so much to do, and even if you can add it to your existing skills, but if it makes you happier and more round as a person, maybe with this hobby, you might be able to help somebody around you. You might be able to give a gift to somebody that they really appreciate it. Or even better, you can mentor somebody because you are now able to learn and to do more every day, and you're becoming better, and you can help somebody who really wanted to learn. And I remember when I was young, I always wondered, where can I find somebody to teach me how to do the drawings I wanted to do and the gymnastics I wanted to do? And because of the environment where I was in Italy, at that point in the 70s, there wasn't any help. There was no internet, there was no help. I didn't even have a single book to teach me how to draw. I had to teach myself from scratch. If I had a mentor then, I would have been like Michelangelo today. But there was no such thing. So I'm not saying that this is the end, because I'm now drawing today, but I would have been so much further ahead today. So look around, look at somebody who is better, and don't feel shy about asking a question. If they say no, they're too busy, that's fine. There'll be somebody else. So don't give up, and remember that it's very important to give to your mind some rest, something good, something positive to look forward to very regularly. And that is what makes a little happiness, come to your day, even if it's a tough time now, but we have to have something to look forward to, even if it's just a chat with somebody. I hope that this episode is going to leave a lasting impression on you, and thank you very much for listening, and take care. Bye-bye. You have listened to Create, Designing the Life That You Want with Franz, Sidney.